Greetings and salutations, everyone. This is Jason Bitbenderbrink, and I am here with two absolutely kick-ass members of the Gala family. And they represent two pillars of what we are building here. We have, hold on, okay. To my right, there we go. I had to figure out where everybody was on the screen. To my right is Chris Shooter. Chris Shooter is the god of Node. And he's the one who is behind all of the development he's the one leading. Let's do that. I don't want to take credit away from the team because you guys have a massive team doing awesome work. Who is leading the efforts in Nodes, got some updates on that. And then down that direction. Look the other way. Perfect. Okay, we got it figured out now. That is Steve Nichols, Schnickles, as he is called by Bucks. And he is the god of chain. And he is here running very, very hard at all of the Geary related things. So what we're going to do today is a little bit of this is going to be not a super mega formal AMA. It's going to be a little bit of an update on some of what's going on in terms of both nodes and chain, a little bit of announcements, maybe a little bit of leakiness here and there. But I more than anything want to get you guys, all of you listening, specifically those in the Gala Gold channel, which is where we'll be taking questions, familiarized with who these awesome dudes are and what is going on. So some of that is going to be me asking them questions. Some of that is going to be me pulling questions from chat. And some of it is going to be just sort of a free flow riffing as we, work through all of the questions that people have and see what goes from there. So how are you guys doing today?
Good. Yeah. Steve, you're all right?
I'm dandy. Yeah.
Dandy. Both of you are engineers. Such engineers, yes. How are you? State. Good. Awesome.
Very good. It's odd looking right in the camera, because I'm trying to make eye contact, but I feel like I'm paint a picture of something.
So do you want to know the trick? What you do is this: you take your window and you make it really, really, really small, and you put it up at the top of your screen.
Okay.
So that way you can look at it's okay. You don't have to do that. You can look at the people, then it feels more like you're staring straight at the camera, which is important.
Gotcha.
Use a Sharpie. So it's great to talk to you guys. Now I've had the privilege of hanging out with both of you on multiple occasions. You are both two of the smartest dudes I think I have ever met. It's a wonderful privilege to chill out with you guys and to talk about what we're all building together. You guys have worked together for how many years?
20 years-ish. Yeah. 2001, right, Steve?
2002? 2001. Which, for those of you who really would like to feel old, is the year before Firefly came out. So... terrible, right? Sorry.
Seriously? Wow. All right.
Seriously, right? No. Doesn't that hurt?
You're going there. Let's do it. All
right. So you guys have worked together forever. You've built all sorts of really, really impressive things. You've built some stuff that some of the world depends on in kind of weird ways. And you both joined Gala and have absolutely been killing it here. What are your thoughts about the future here? Where do you want this to go? What are we building?
Where do we start? All right. I'll go first. So I caught the Gala bug at the Galaverse that we had in Las Vegas, and I was working in the game industry doing game stuff, and I've had a rocky relationship with Amazon services, cloud services, things like that. I had an invention I'd made, and I had turned on the wrong service. And anyone who's ever used the cloud knows this can happen to you too. Is I turned on the wrong service, and then I got a big fat bill from Amazon for $20,000. And so I was like, "There's got to be a better way." And so when I met the Gala guys. And I realized they had this concept of nodes and this concept of running their entire ecosystem without depending on Amazon and the cloud. I was like, oh, tell me more. And that's when I caught it. I got the bug, and I was like, well, this could work. And then when I found out you already sold or you already had 25,000 nodes, I'm like, well, that's a lot. And when it's only like 8,000 running the entire Ethereum mainnet, I mean, and we have 25,000, I'm like, guys, there's something here. And so it's always been my purpose and my plan to come here and sort of change the world with our node system, with our blockchain system. And I had worked with Steve forever. Steve and I have written so many games. We worked on a hardware device together. Some people think we look alike, but I'm clearly the better looking.
Yeah.
You guys, there are people who think you look alike?
I know.
Yeah, well,
is that like my wife thinks that everyone in Game of Thrones looks alike because they're white and have a beard? Is that?
I think it's yeah, it might be that.
Okay.
So I talked Steven to say, hey, buddy, come over. That's this cool stuff. And he was he'll have to speak to it, but I mean, I think it's been like rocket speed ever since we got here.
It has been.
Yeah.
And Snickles, so for you, running some of the chain stuff now, you've stepped in after Derek decided to go do other things, and that's fine. We absolutely wish him luck. No hard feelings there or anything like that. And we parted on very good terms. For you stepping into and driving this chain effort, what would you say is the greatest challenge that you have faced here?
Gosh, and just that bit. I mean, it's actually been pretty straightforward. The team is awesome. I think Derek did a good job hiring the team and getting them set up for success. I think there was, the biggest challenge would be maybe some of the bifurcation. I like using that word a lot, but it's split in the way that we approach the tech. That I think we had to unify on. We had kind of some split efforts between Docker-based deployment of our backend and Kubernetes-based. One was kind of production ready, one wasn't. And if any of you guys were around during the Town Crush test, and kind of the issues that we had around that, and we found some pretty significant issues that we needed to work through. That's kind of been the biggest challenge, kind of redirecting the team towards that, picking up all the intricate details of Hyperledger Fabric and how that works, becoming kind of an expert in that as well as you can in a month and a half, 2 months. But in general, it's been pretty smooth.
Awesome. Now, one of the questions, this is coming from Subspace, and this is, I think, more of a shooter type question. It's not really a question; it's more of a comment. Subspace says that a lot of the nodes run in AWS because people use AWS to run these nodes. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, sure. Sorry. No, I understand. No. My point is, it's up to the community on where they want to run them.
Right. But
you don't have that choice with the cloud. The way the cloud works now, especially with AWS stranglehold on it, you often don't really have a choice of what services you use. I mean, that's what this is all about. That's what crypto is all about. Is this distributed computing metaphor, and the ability to be rewarded for doing the work. That's the big thing there. Instead of our games paying AWS, why not have the ecosystem run the games? And so I'll talk more about that, but that's the node vision right there.
Oh, go ahead. Let's talk about it. I mean, one of the things that I've loved is being able to jump in and play Last Expedition connecting to the node network. I think that is super ultra mega cool. And the first time we did that, I was just absolutely blown away because it actually worked, and we weren't playing on somebody's, like it wasn't just connecting via, IP to somebody's computer. It was connecting to a node, and that's really, really powerful to me.
Yeah. So that's the first implementation of the vision, so to speak. So the big reason I want to talk to everyone, and I want to have this AMA is Node V3 is here, guys. What you're running now is 2, 3, whatever, depending on when you last upgraded. But Node version 3 is now in the select few's hands, and it will be in everyone's hands pretty soon. What this means to everyone is our node software will be running more stuff it means you will need some more bandwidth to potentially host your music files, your film files. You'll need a pretty decent CPU if you're going to run an Unreal server on it. But the point is, it's here. It's I'll go technically real quick. It's a Kubernetes-based Docker system, which means it'll run generic things, and these generic things are what's going to cause us to need, more requirements. But we're going to be doing more. We're actually going to be running servers for a lot of these games. And so if you guys have played Minecraft or things like that, you have the server list. That's how it's going to look for a lot of these games, and your nodes are going to pop up on that list. And so people will have the option to choose your node to play a game, and that's the plan. Right now, we're rolling out Node 3 slowly. We're calling it a soft launch. But by the November timeframe, I'm going to need everyone to be running on these nodes because we have a lot of big plans, and I need everyone's help in the Gala ecosystem to pull them off. So around November timeframe, guys, I'm going to expect everyone to be running on Node v3. But I'm gonna do as much as I can to help people to get there.
So what we have here is we have like, hooray, aw, news here. Hooray, Node's doing a lot more, a lot of growth, a lot of development in the ecosystem. Aw, my $5 VPS isn't going to cut it anymore. And I think
no more Raspberry Pi nodes. Yeah, I love Raspberry Pis. Yeah.
Would you say that, because one of the interesting things about the way that the nodes are architected is that we have there's a little bit of a difference between founders nodes and the workloads that are supported by these founders nodes. So for example, a music node is a workload that operates on the same infrastructure, right?
Right.
The number of workloads that you apply and what those workloads do changes the requirements of the node itself, correct?
Correct. So let me clear up a little bit of the confusion. There's a little bit of unfortunate naming. We sell nodes, but what we're selling are the workloads. When you run your node software on your PC, Mac, and Mac M1 as well, or Linux box, you're running one piece of software. However, if you have all these different licenses, you can run up to 5 or 6 workloads. Each one of those different workloads is going to have a spec requirement. You're not going to be able to run a film workload without a lot of disk space because you're going to be basically the Netflix of the Gala system hosting the movies. Same with music. So there's going to be a bigger disk requirement for those. Now for games, there's going to be a bigger CPU requirement. Fortunately, Unreal games, things like that, they don't require a heavy-duty GPU, but they do require a decent CPU. There's going to be a little bit more bandwidth requirements because now you're sending your files. If you own a bunch of NFT of the songs, you're going to be sharing those. And by sharing those, you're going to be distributing more through the pipe. So it's a little more nuanced now on the specs because now, depending on which licenses you own, you can't just say, okay, you can click on this version of the VPS. You might now have bought 100 music NFTs. So now your VPS requirements change a little because now you're hosting a whole bunch of stuff. So it's a little hard. That's a harder question for me to answer now when people ask min specs, because it really does depend on what workload and what we call nodes are you running.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So quick question, Don't Flex, is this downloadable now? Can people upgrade now?
Yes.
Or is it just a select few?
Oh, yes. So here's the plan, guys. I don't want everyone rushing the gates right now. So I've released it. If you're in the Node owners group, at the end of this AMA, I'll put in a link so people can download. Now, there's different instructions for how this works. So if you're running the Linux, there is an install shell that you can run, but it's a little different now. You'll need to run a thing called Docker ahead of time. Then that's what handles the generic workloads. And so I'll give a very abbreviated form of instructions. So I need the hardcore of y'all not the people that are like, I don't touch it if it ain't broken, because we're still, this is still very much a beta system. But I will put a link in the Node owners in Discord after this AMA, and whoever wants to download it can.
Awesome. Perfect. So you guys are ready. Those of you who are more highly technical, you'll be able to install it and play with it and check it out. Those of you who are not, you can just hang back for a little bit. Don't get yourself in over your heads, and we'll go from there. Okay. So Kronos, and this is a question that popped up in my Twitch stream, and I think it was actually asked by Kronos, is do you plan on having a Node version that runs on ARM architecture?
M1, I'm running on it right now. So
Okay,
the answer is yes. No problem. If you guys want to know the details why it couldn't be done, it's not very complicated, but it's not an issue anymore.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That's good news for a lot of people. One of the challenges that people have had for a long time is like, oh, Gala doesn't support Macs. Gala doesn't support Macs, and one of the reasons that you don't see a lot of Mac builds for the game specifically is oftentimes they're built for PC first, and then there's a bunch of crap that you have to change to port it over to Mac, and you can't iterate on that quickly enough most of the time. So yeah, but in this case, it's ready to rock and roll. Let's see here.
No, the Node software is a complete rewrite, guys. So this is going to be, this is something we need testing on, but it's going to open up more doors for us, and that's why we couldn't do Mac before. So we rewrote a lot of the software. So a lot of these issues go away now.
Nice. Perfect. Now let's see. Oh no, Eric is responding to a message right now, so I'm getting Eric messages popping up in the corner. So if I stop and just look down and type, that's what that is. How do you get into the Node Owners channel? For the Node Owners channel, you can just connect your Discord, and if you have a node, it'll automatically give you that.
It's the Gala Node network category, and it's in those channels. I believe everyone has access to it. It looks public to me.
Oh, okay. Well, I think there's a node discussion and then a node owner channel. I thought the node owner channel was gated. Maybe not.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Okay. And Siberia, yes, you can ask questions. Go for it. Daniels wants to know that if he has a GPU server, will it be better or helpful?
In the future, yes. So there's a lot of cool workloads you can do with GPU. Right now, we don't need them, but who's to say? What we've written for the Node network is a completely generic workloadable system. So, yeah, potentially, if you think of like machine learning type workloads, oh my God, that would be a great use case. But right now, our games don't necessarily need to do, protein folding or anything like that, but I can definitely see that in the future. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm answering an Eric question. Okay. Eric question answered until there's another one. Okay, do they need a static IP to run their nodes?
No, but it depends. Okay. Again. This is where it changes, guys. This is where, depending on which license, we'll have different requirements later. So I reserve the right to change that answer.
I think that's an important component here when we dig into that. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about Geary and all of that. Now, again, the name is not going to stay Geary. Absolutely not. And there are bits and pieces of this that are still in progress. The way, and please, Snickles, please, or Schnickles, please stop me if I am incorrect, but currently the plan is a soft launch of Geary with Spider Tanks, because Spider Tanks is on Geary, and then maybe a fuller, more feature rollout of other things in the future. So it's not going to be like, boom, here's the whole thing, everything forever. It's going to be something that is progressively, constantly in development. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that's fair.
Awesome. So one of the things that we've talked about is the concept of gas and using Gala as gas on this ecosystem. So that's something that we will be doing. This is answering questions from Rocket Unit. That's something that is going to be happening in the future. Probably not something that's going to be happening instantly, because we want to just get it completely stood up, working, and make sure that it does exactly what it's supposed to do before we implement that. And one of the cool things about this is that we have plans that make horizontal scaling a possibility. Would you like to talk a little bit about scaling on chain?
How do we scale on chain? I think as a Hyperledger fabric-based tech stack, right, there's a lot of options for standing up subchains, channels on chains, and we have some tech that allows us or will allow us to kind of subdivide an existing chain as needed to load balance across them, right? So it's scalable for sure. We don't have just one massive chain that everyone's using, right? So we can, again, stand up a chain for this game or for that game, and kind of scale that way very nicely. And we've been most of our effort has been spent around stand that up in a repeatable way. So new game comes along, stand that up. Ultimately, with the goal of getting to kind of a self-service model, right?
Right.
Really easy for games to come on without us having to handhold them through the process.
Right. That's one of the things that is most exciting to me is the idea that you could bring people in. A developer can come and decide, hey, we want to build on this thing. We don't want to have any sort of gatekeeping function to it. They're able to stake Gala or stake a token to basically create a little chunk of chain that they can do their own things in. So if they mess it up, they're only messing their own stuff up. And I think that's one of the things that will work very well. And quick question or somebody had a question. Where did it go? It was, are we going to vote on the names? No, we're not going to vote on names. We tried that once for one thing, and it was almost a terrible, terrible disaster. We almost had spider.
Cheney McChain face. Cheney McChain face. Let's do it.
We can't have Cheney McChain face chain. It would have to be Cheney McChain face chain. Okay, and that's clearly unacceptable. So we're not voting on names. And yeah, I just have to say one thing really quick. I was on a live stream last night, a little bit. It was pretty late last night. I was really, really exhausted, and I got just a tiny bit spicy about another project. It was amusing. People were greatly amused by it. But I have to say, they've done good stuff in the space, guys. They really, really, really tried hard, and they helped a lot of people. So I got to give them credit where credit is due. I would really like if they made an actual game, but that's a whole separate discussion, and I'm not going to get into it or name drop here. But everybody knows. Okay, so let's dig into. Do we have an Explorer currently up and running, Schnickles, for the chain?
Internal, yes, not externally facing. So
okay. Did we ever make that available with the tests?
I don't think we did that I'm aware of to external folks. Maybe there was, but I don't think so. I think you had to be on VPN and so forth to access it, I think.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Oh, sorry, more messages popping up in the corner. Awesome. And in the future, for when we push Spider Tanks fully live, do we plan on making an Explorer available at that time?
Yeah, I think the strategy here is launch Spider Tanks. That's number one, right? And once that's out, we're going to have a period of reacting to that, right? I'm sure everything's going to work great, but in the unlikely event of cabin depressurization, we need to be on all hands on deck to fix those things. And so I think we'll have about a month of correction and whatnot after that, and then we can turn our attention to publishing some of those things that are internal facing. So I think, Q1 probably would be where that would show up. So next year.
Awesome. Johnny Boy, besides specs, can we touch on tokenomics? I guess it depends on what tokens you're talking about. With Founders Node V3, is that a result of moving to the 4-point reward system incentives? I don't think that that's going to be tied into this. I actually was supposed to earlier this week have a meeting with Chewbacca, who is the representative of the community, to discuss the founders bonus pool concept. So I will be meeting with him, and that's going to be one of those things that gets discussed. RH, will the Geary Ethereum bridge be up? Is that a thing that is up currently, Snickles?
It is a thing that is in our staging environment, soon to be on our production environment. So yes, it's on the way for Spider Tank's launch. So
okay, perfect. Perfect. That's wonderful. And let's see. I shouldn't be playing Spider Tanks while hosting an AMA. That's very true, Subspace. How did you know? Are you the one with the flamethrower? That's unacceptable. Bridges scare me. Okay, this is an interesting thing from Cool. Do you want to talk about the bridge? How that works?
No, I do. It's scary, right? No,
I don't want to talk about it.
Achilles heel of a lot of systems, right? And I think we've taken a staged approach, right? We when I first got involved in the project and kind of did an analysis of where we were with the bridge, we'd sent it out for audit and found some issues and did some re-architecting on it. I feel like what we'll have for this Q4 will be pretty good. I think we're going to need to do another iteration to make it rock solid. But I think it's pretty rock solid already. But let me back up and say a little bit how it works. I mean, there's some kind of custom validation process that takes place, and right now that is currently centralized behind our on our infrastructure, and ultimately I need to see that move off onto the Node network, and that's something we couldn't bite off and also meet our our launching of Spider Tanks into this month. So we put that on hold, kind of did the design work, kind of laid the groundwork for it, and we'll be biting that off post-launch and get that up as soon as possible. Hopefully, getting some Node workloads that participate in this process, right? So we can kind of decentralize that signing process. This, moving to a threshold signature system is kind of the current thinking, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice. I'm a big fan of the way that we're doing that. Okay, and I'm gonna just address a bunch of these questions that are coming right now regarding the concept of Geary and how that interacts with nodes, and the idea that there will be sort of a layer above the founders nodes in that regard. One of the things that we're looking at here is the fact that we want this to be a truly decentralized, full organization where people can, get on and put a game into the ecosystem without us having to do anything with it. Who want to use our chain, they can do so without us having to sort of give them blessed access to it. And the reality is what that means is that we need to have a robust, decentralized way to make that possible. And Mark Skaggs, if you're watching this, I just saw your message. I'll get to you in a little bit. It's always like dinging up in the corner. So anyway, the part of this means that, and this is one of the reasons that we're not calling Geary Gala Chain, right? Because if it's Gala Chain, then it is very, very clearly identified as Gala's thing. And we don't necessarily want that. We want this to be something that's much bigger than us, much bigger than anything that's ever been, pushed out there before. So it needs to have a name that differentiates it from just our little playground. Now, on that, in that much bigger, tech sandbox, if you will, there may be a part of it that is the Gala ecosystem, okay? This bigger thing that's up here, okay, that is what Geary is. Now, within our own Gala ecosystem, this is where you have the founders nodes that play a critical role. You have all of the different games that exist within this. You have the potential for things like film and music to exist within this Gala only ecosystem. But with the much bigger, vision, if you will, there's the possibility for more and bigger things to exist outside of this. And this is something that I'm personally super excited about, because I think that all of you watching this know that while we make games, okay, our real vision is a lot bigger than that. And you're starting to see little bits and pieces of it as we expand through the rest of entertainment in a way that nobody's really done before. But I don't want this to be the end of it, and I want there to be the possibility for us or other people who want to build on that ecosystem to expand way beyond that. Okay. But I'm not really, really ready to go into exact details on how all of that is going to go down. Because at this point in time, some of it is still in progress. It's still in the planning phases for the broader, larger ecosystem. And so I don't want to get into a situation where, you know, I say something on an AMA and then somebody's like, oh, well, you said this specific word and that means this specific thing. And it becomes this gigantic thing. Now, to answer Rocket Unit's question, so Founders nodes will not be a backbone of the whole network. Founders nodes, if the development goes the way that I would like it to, Founders nodes are 100% the backbone of the entire Gala ecosystem. Okay, 100%. And those who have Founders nodes, specifically once they become NFTs, okay, will have the ability to become part of that larger ecosystem while still being part of the Gala ecosystem. This is about having to do things in a totally decentralized way. If it's being done in a decentralized fashion, that's part of it. It has to be permissionless. And the problem is with Founders nodes, it's a license, which is ultimately a database item, which means that somebody controls that database. So it has to be an NFT, and it has to be something that can be moved around in order for that full thing to be realized. Okay, let's see here. That has spurred so many questions.
Let me
so many
questions.
All you Brink.
But no, actually, there's a bunch more questions. I like it.
Okay, let's see here. Will Founders nodes be Geary nodes? No, not directly, but they have the ability to become. Will a Founders node have to be purchased, or will a Geary node have to be purchased, or will a Founders node to be sacrificed? No, there was not a sacrifice involved here. It would probably be more like a staking, although Jesse's probably going to DM me in 38 seconds telling me I should not have said that word. Peer-to-peer network of blockchains. I like that idea. Founders nodes were promised to be the thing that validate transactions on the chain and would profit off of those transactions. I did not say that was not the case at all. So yeah, that's still planned. Even if Gala vanishes, this architecture will carry on. Yes, that is the plan. We want to make sure that this architecture is robust and carries on no matter what happens in a fully decentralized fashion. What is the future of Founders nodes? Are they going to be obsolete? No, not at all. This is one of the things that I actually dropped into the Korean channel this morning, because some of this I discussed in a community meetup with the Korean team, and or not the Korean team, the Korean community in Busan when I was there for UDC. And you know, people asked a little bit of like this longer vision, and so I like in 3 minutes gave kind of this picture. And somehow this morning that picture slipped out, and so people were panicking that the Founders nodes, you know, were going to be useless or obsolete or in some way, shape, or form harmed. Critical thing, guys, Founders nodes are the core of everything that we at Gala are doing. That's not changing. None of this in any way, shape, or form is bad for the Founders nodes. Everything here is good for the Founders nodes. This is gravy, and I think that everyone is going to really, really like as this develops and fully unfolds in front of you. Okay, let's see what else. Do we know when the NFTs will be ready? No, I'm guessing that's going to be a next year thing. Forcing KYC for NFTing and unlocking their potential. Senpai, that may be a requirement. That may be a legal thing, and it may not be something that we have a call on. I don't know. So let's see. What else? Oh my God, so many questions. If there were to be some sort of KYC functionality, I think that because I know that a lot of people, and this is one of the reasons that we got rid of the earlier referral program, I know a lot of people referred themselves which would make KYC kind of difficult because you can't KYC for like 8 accounts because you went that deep. I'm sure we would come up with some sort of solution to that specific implementation. But yeah. Any third-party developers reaching out already? Yes, we have third-party developers reaching out constantly asking for docs and deeper integrations. So yeah. If it becomes fully decentralized, how about governance? Will Gala become a DAO? Gala itself probably wouldn't become a DAO because from a regulatory perspective, that's a very difficult thing to do. And it's very difficult to move from a corporation into a DAO. That's not an easy thing to accomplish. But there's a lot of other things that could potentially work as DAOs in the future, but I don't want to like name those, if that makes sense. How does Geary relate to Flare? I eventually will be able to probably bridge from Geary to Flare. I know that's something that we'd like to see. I just ran into Hugo in Korea, and this is definitely an interesting thing that we would like to do. Sorry, guys, I'm just rapid firing these questions. If you see something that you would like to answer, go for it.
I kind of like just watching you talk.
I'm enjoying the Jason.
Are you?
Game, really.
That's good.
Yeah.
As long as you guys don't
favorite.
mind, I can do this all day. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I just don't want to, like have you guys sitting there like bumps on a log if you have something to contribute. So if you see something you want to talk about, please just talk over the top of me. If you change your Founders Node into a Geary node, does that mean you will still get all the Founders Node stuff? Yes. I mean, you would have to be running a Founders Node workload to get that stuff, same way you would right now. But you would also be running something else in addition to that. Bit better, you keep saying that Founders Nodes are the backbone of all of Gala, but that's not true with film and music, right? They don't seem associated in any way. They actually are associated, but it's the way film and music are doing things is somewhat different. So Founders Nodes are the backbone of the games ecosystem and will get the ability to become part of the much larger ecosystem under which film and music absolutely will fall. Universal profiles, interesting idea. I haven't really thought about it. Is Geary going to have a wallet? Yeah, it absolutely will have to eventually, right? And then here's the question. Siberia asks about the possibility to convert Gala ecosystem tokens from a It's Friday afternoon, guys. My brain is so freaking cooked this week. From a regulatory perspective, converting tokens through something we control is a profoundly bad idea. So we probably won't do that. However, if somebody else externally would like to build that, that's something that they will be able to do. So that's that.
RH just asked something about if Spider Tanks is successful and our bridge is hacked, and what are we going to do to make sure it doesn't totally shit the bed? And there it goes. I think if we find we've been hacked and there's an issue, we'll absolutely shut it down and resolve the issue right away. So we'll be keeping an eye on that.
I mean, the way that the bridge functions, though, it's not like, Ronin, for example. The problem with Ronin and the reason that their hack was so bad is because they had this massive pile of Ethereum that was just sitting in the bridge. And so when that got hacked, all of that Ethereum went away. That's the issue, right? But as far as I know, most of the bridge functions on a burn and mint process. So, there isn't anything in the bridge to hack. So if something happened, okay, it would be limited to impacting specific transactions. Let's say somebody was able to inject a new address to make sure that newly bridged tokens went to some other place. The moment that we recognize that that's happened, then we just turn it off and fix it. And we have a few transactions we have to fix rather than, oh my God, $300 million worth of Ethereum is gone. So that's a very, very big big piece that makes this very different. Okay. Berlin Panthers feels like nodes are getting nerfed. They're not, man. This is good for nodes. This is absolutely good for nodes.
Nerfed? What's he talking about?
Well, he used Latin, and I don't feel like saying Latin, but basically, it feels very much like founders nodes are losing their primus inter pares status. In what ways will the Geary node implementation be attractive for founders nodes? So basically, look at it this way: your founders nodes are still going to do all of the founders nodes things. Okay, Geary nodes. I'm just going to throw that out there as a hacky phrase that I don't want to say that way. It's not that they won't take anything away from founders nodes. Okay. However, they have the ability. Okay. So let's say you have Gala here. This is the Gala ecosystem operating, and here's Geary that all of this stuff attaches into. Now, let's say that somebody else comes along and decides, okay, well, we're going to do something else. We'll call it Gala ecosystem. Okay. This connects up there. They're two separate containers. So this stuff doesn't have anything to do with Gala, but it does have something to do with that upper level. And so they might have their own system of things that do things specific to their ecosystem, but it won't have anything to do with Gala, and it won't have anything to do with us because it will be built in a completely decentralized fashion. Okay, let's see here. Will Geary nodes, okay, Family Man has a question. Will Geary nodes come out at the same price point? Okay, this isn't something we can sell. Okay, the problem is if we sell it, then it's no longer decentralized. It's us selling it to you. So what we can do is we can establish a protocol that allows you to create a node or get a node, but it can't be something that we sell as a product in the same way. We can do that for things in our ecosystem, but for something that's, up above that is actually is much, much more decentralized, that's not something that we can do. So there isn't a price point connected to it. What are the opportunities for developers? Lots. Senpai, all the founders node things. Okay, basically what you've got here, founders nodes are feeling encroached upon. Okay, so that I think is the core of, this is from Senpai Mu. A lot of Latin and Greek characters floating around today. So with founders nodes feeling encroached upon, I think that's the critical point. And what I want to make sure that you understand is that founders nodes, as the core of the ecosystem, they receive the Gala that is minted on a daily basis. Anything that is coming, all new Gala is coming through those nodes. Okay. As they run the Gala ecosystem, they will receive the gas fees that are running for that. And the way that those gas fees are going to work, we're looking at a few different options, but essentially it would be something where if you're making, your first transaction of any given period, it's negligible in gas. But if you start making more and more and more, the amount of gas that required goes up radically to prevent things like griefing the chain and whatnot. And so yeah, that would be the way that works. And you would be getting part of that as this, obviously would have to run your node. You would have to deliver the work. You'd have to, confirm the transactions. You'd have to do all of those things. So all of that is still there. That's not going away. Game nodes don't do that stuff. Game nodes do things related to their specific game. Last Expedition stuff runs Last Expedition stuff. Townstar runs Townstar stuff. So none of that changes for the founders nodes. What they get is almost like an early access opportunity to become part of something larger and more decentralized, while still maintaining their status as founders nodes. Am I not being clear? Is it, Chris, Steve? Am I not being clear here?
I feel like it's we kind of had the context already. So yeah, I think you're being crystal clear. But
yeah,
I wish maybe I should share that slide. Should I share that slide, or is that a profoundly bad idea?
I have no idea. I don't know which slide you mean, but I think you should share.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the worst that'll happen? Like people ask questions.
The one from our offsite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that one will be an interesting one. Like this is broader future things for sure, and there were a lot of things to work out there. But
hold on. Let me before I do that.
Founders are major node. I mean, and if you remember earlier, Steve was like, they're going to be used for jury operations.
Yes,
it makes sense to me. I'm not sure where the confusion is. Music nodes, run music. Film runs film.
Yeah, everything they all do their own things here. Let me. Okay, here.
Johnny boy,
let me go look at this.
Do it. Share it. Do it.
Did you see the one earlier, Steve? Someone said send nodes. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, hold on. I'm going through this.
Subspace. We don't know how it's pronounced. I don't know how to pronounce. I don't like the name Geary. I'm not a fan.
Oh, it's terrible.
Nobody can say it the same way twice. It's a real problem for me, personally.
Okay.
It's Gary.
Yeah, you pronounce GIF.
Yeah, none of that makes sense. Okay, hold on. I'm actually live editing this deck to make sure it's not giving away too much alpha. This should be fun. I'm sure somebody's in the background having a heart attack. God, what is he gonna do? Okay. And let's see. I've not received. Let me check my DMs. I've not received any panicked DMs yet.
Freaking dogs.
Okay. No, dogs are good. Dogs are good. Okay. So we've got okay, actually I need to make one change here, because otherwise people are going to be like, "What? Those are the only things?" I had to put a little etc on it because this is only a example.
Sounds like there's a dogfight happening downstairs in my house, just so you know, guys. Like it sounds like.
I suggest betting. Nice. Thank you, Forged in Crypto, for pulling that out. That's good. That's good.
Who is that handsome fella?
Okay, so there's the ecosystem as it stands right now. Okay. Crap. Hold on. I have to.
He's literally editing the slides as we go. This is fantastic.
I'm literally
changing the tires while we're driving. I love it.
No, because the thing is I don't, there's things that can't be released. There's alpha. It's okay. Don't let him delete. I'm not going to delete any of this stuff, guys. I'm just making.
Don't let him delete it.
Making sure that people understand what's going on. Okay. I think I need to.
Real-time redaction. I love it.
It's not. This isn't even redaction. I'm just literally giving them pieces of slides.
Nice.
Really, the Bezos slides, really?
The Bezos slide is important, man. Okay, so hold on. Now I have to zoom in really, really close here to make sure that I'm not missing anything. I can't see the look on your face, but I can hear the tone of your mind, Chris. Don't judge me.
Too late.
Don't
they're
judge
great
me.
slides. They're great slides.
Bezos, not Bezos, right? I think somebody is onto something there.
Oh, it's GIF, not GIF.
Bezos.
These gifs that people are posting in the chat are just fantastic.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sure they are. I'm sure they are.
We got nipple clamps. We got.
What? What's going on?
Or maybe that's my interpretation. I might not be right.
Are we devolving here?
Hold on. I need to zoom in. I need to zoom in because there might be a thing I can't say here, but my text on the slide is too small.
This is the good stuff.
Okay, hold on. I think this is going to work. Sorry, guys. I don't. I'm going to actually just cut part of this. That's the way I'm going to do this.
Hey, Johnny Boy, just in response to your question you just asked, I mean, how do we convert the founders node into a Geary node and whatnot? I think there's still things to be figured out there. I mean, we don't have that figured out. I think we're going to launch spider tanks, react to that, shore up some goodies, and kind of get our shit together for Q1 with more info. So I think I'm just excited to ship a game on this thing. That's super exciting. Can you imagine?
Yes.
I'm amazed. Let's
Seriously.
do it. Ship a real game. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what I want the headline to be, guys. I mean, your node software is about to get upgraded. It's complete rewrite, and it's going to be running some cool shit. That's the headline.
Oh man, a lot of red action. I can't wait. Let's have a look.
Oh wow, I see a lot of red.
I hope I read enough stuff out. I cut off a whole other part of that page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me go back and let's see here. I'm posting these. Will Geary have its own token or use Gala? The Gala part of the Geary ecosystem will use Gala. Geary itself will have its own thing because obviously we can't have nodes up above give people Gala. That would be absolutely dicked, and I think people running the founders nodes would be justifiably pissed off. So that's absolutely not going to happen. Let's see. PowerPoint. Egg came before the chicken. What? Oh. And let's see. Please just dumb it out. Okay, how will we be able to turn it into? Yeah, that's going to be something that is for Johnny Boy. Dumb it down for us. How will I be able to turn my founders node into a Geary node? Will I be able to turn it back into a regular founders node? It will still be a regular founders node. You'll still have that NFT. It'll just be locked up in all. And again, like Steve said, part of this is still in flux. Okay, let's see here. What else? Let it leak. Champion nodes. I don't know what a champion node is. That's not a thing. Too many greens watching. Ha ha ha. And feels like Bucks is stopping him. It's actually Bucks. I don't even think Bucks is listening. I don't know if she's.
I think she's
said
offline
anything
right now. Yeah, smart.
Well, I hope she is. It's like 10. It's almost 11 p.m. on a Friday night. She should be.
We timed it well.
Okay. No. Okay. Subspace. If a Geary node is locked founders node, that won't decrease the founders node in the Gala part of the network. No, not at all. And yes, that is a huge leak, Travis. You are correct. And I just forgot. There's a whole bunch of people who are listening to this who aren't in Gala Gold. So that might be a thing you want to check out because there's some interesting pictures in there these days.
Oh, we're teasing. It's terrible.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to. It's just that. Yeah. It's just that we're what we're doing is really, really, really big, guys. There's a lot going on, and somebody would said, why the secrecy and whatnot. This isn't a question of secrecy. It's a question of accuracy. We want to make sure that everything that we say is accurate, and what we know is, it's kind of, if you what I'm sharing right here is steps 1 to 100. Okay, and we are 100% locked in and confident on steps 1 through 10. And that's what we have shared in precise detail. Anything from 11 to 100 is still stuff where there are parts of it that are still being worked on, parts of it that are still being ironed out so that they, do what they're supposed to do. There's going to be a train that goes by in just a second here, so I'm going to have to mute myself, and it's going to be up to you guys. But there's still bits and pieces of this. I mean, it's kind of like if you look at the Ethereum roadmap, okay. What you see is like 30 years of work or something like that. And they're just now on like step 3 or something like that. This is kind of along those lines, but we just didn't put out the whole roadmap because we know that things are going to evolve and change and grow as we go forward. And we have a long history of not doing the whole roadmap thing because we don't want people to sort of jump to conclusions. Okay, let's see. Johnny Boy, when founders nodes become NFTs, will there be anything to prevent a falling floor price? We don't, that's not a thing that we worry about. People who want to get in the ecosystem and actually learn something and build, fantastic. People who want to, even if there is a falling floor price where somebody's like, that's it, I'm out, I quit, and they want to sell their founders node, that just gives somebody else the chance to come in and realize what we're building. So I'm not worried about that. It allows us to get rid of some of the salty people and bring in people who are enthusiastic and have always wanted to have that chance to be part of that ecosystem. Let's see. Are we going beyond entertainment? Us at Gala right now? No, we're not. We're staying on entertainment, but we're building something that can be used for a lot of different things. And yes, is owning a founders node the only way to be part of Geary? No. We can't have a central authority running the broader network. Correct. ETH is slow. Yes. Gala adult films coming soon. No, not at all. Not at all.
Steve, what are you doing?
Just rapid fire, like another question.
Pew, pew. I'm just watching Brink in his element. Pew, pew, pew.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. Okay, Shadow T says, if there's no requirement to purchase a Geary node and they're able to undertake the operations of founder node as well, no, not how that works. If
no, hold on. Can I try to summarize it real quick? Because maybe I'll do it. Hit it. So the idea is, with this node system rewrite, we have a platform that we can release arbitrary workloads on, right? We can make a workload. It could be a game server, it could be the founders node software, it could be a music node software. We have a system that allows us to deploy multiple kinds of workloads. Now, what workloads you're running is independent of that underlying system, and I think maybe there's some confusion there, or I just made it worse. I don't know. Feels good to me though.
Yeah. This is the thing I've been dealing with since day one, the difference between nodes and workloads. We sell nodes, but we're selling the workloads. Well, that's where the confusion comes in.
It's also this industry is absolutely terrible at definitions and naming.
Like all the nerds. It's all the nerds.
It is all the nerds, but who?
It's not the engineer's fault. No, it's not our fault.
Some of the engineers are nerds, and some of the nerds are engineers. This is not a widgets and fobbits thing. I mean, there's widgets and wingdings. I don't know. Anyway, my point is that if you're running a Geary node, you're operating at a certain part of that ecosystem and you're doing certain things that support that. That does not mean you're doing all the founders node stuff. However, if you have a founders node and you're also doing this stuff, then you have the founders node stuff and this stuff. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. Gala Food Network, eat to earn. Man, I would love to eat. I'm so hungry today.
I am hungry too. Can I eat to earn, or do I earn to eat?
Sad face. We're in the wrong industry, Steve. Subspace. This is Gala Adult Films. Actually, the AMA is like this. Yes, this is not for children. Knight with the American flag. Punisher Skull says, "Hello, I have followed Gala for a year. Sometimes I feel sad that I missed out as opposed to others. Is the journey just beginning? Yes, this is just you at the very, 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 very beginning of this. This is one of those things where you talk about how long have humans existed in comparison to the rest of the earth, except switch that around. We're at the very, very, very beginning of all of this. This is a much bigger journey that we hope." I mean, honestly, all of us are here because we're fucking iconoclasts and we want to tear things down and build better shit. That's why every single person is here. And yeah, you're at the very, very beginning of this. We're just getting started. Can any industry be built on Geary, medical, solar, etc.? Yeah, why not? Why not?
Hey, whoever said that's getting it. They get it.
Yeah. Yeah. That was Bagman 301. You're starting to
see
understand.
the little gears start to. Yeah. What Steve and I are doing is we're just putting the infrastructure in place. We're going to put it in place, but let's see where it goes.
Willem Woes has a brilliant idea. Why haven't we thought of this? Work nodes.
Work nodes. That's it. All right, done. I'm changing the code right now.
Do it. That's actually brilliant.
Work nodes.
What's a work node? Am I just dumb? Somebody explain this to me.
It's not a workload.
It's like a workload. It's not a node. Mm-hmm. It's not a workload. It's a work node.
Oh, so we should have called film, music, town, all of these work nodes.
Yep, nerds in their naming. Workload, it's a fancy workload. It's a process that's running on a distributed system. Yeah.
Actually, Steve, it's a Docker container that is executing any form of language which you write.
The world's biggest Kubernetes cluster. It's amazing.
Yes,
exactly.
It's going to be the biggest brain you've ever thought of, and it's going to be this giant brain. It's going to take over the world, and we all work for it. Oh, did I say too much? Oh.
Work nodes. Yeah, work nodes. Somebody already said Skynet. I forgot the name, but somebody said it. Yeah.
Skynet. Oh, yes. Work nodes. It's just a search and replace, Steve. We're going to just change all the code.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we missed it. We always come up. You always come with the best name later after you've written 10,000 lines of code. Yeah. Send work nodes.
TJ asks, "Is there a minimum requirement to run a Jira node?" We're not there yet, guys. We're 100%.
Yeah, so I've answered this one 1,000 times. The minimum requirements are going to, it's going to be the hardest question we have to answer, but it's going to depend on the work node that it's doing, or the work. I don't even know how to use it. Is it a verb? Is it a noun?
Mr. Nobody posted the thing of me or of Jeff Bezos. I sell books. Should I show them the slide that I included of me?
Mm-hmm. You should.
Should I? I should.
I think we need to write just a simple white paper, or a one pager that just explains the basic idea here. Because I see a lot of confusion around founders nodes. Do they need this, or what's there's some confusion. I don't know if we need to just make a bullet point list somewhere. I don't know. Oh, that's the one. We sell game NFTs.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Sorry, I don't mean to make fun.
No, dude. I'm absolutely. I should absolutely be mocked for that. Absolutely.
Is that a sweater vest?
Oh my god, that's a vest. Oh my god, Jason, what were you thinking?
I love it. It was good.
I have my new background.
All right. So many questions. We can really answer questions for hours. I'm pretty sure. I'm saving that.
Yeah, no, we could absolutely answer questions for hours, but given that it's creeping up on 5 p.m. where you guys are.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have to do another one of these soon? That could be fun. Like, it seems like there's 1,000 questions and they're just pouring out.
There's 1,000 questions. Let's do this. Let's because I 1,000% do not want to distract you guys as we come up on the Spider Tanks launch. So let's do this. Let's put one of these in for early November. That's your background for all meetings now.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's fair.
I wish
I
it
love
didn't
it. I
flip.
love the background. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
It's good. So looks like I'm getting ready to eat you with my that's so weird. I look like Earthworm Jim. That's terrible. Oh my God. Okay. So definitely we will do more of this, guys. Thank you so much for coming in and asking questions. And there's a lot coming, and I know that this AMA has been a long time coming. I hope everyone enjoys it and has fun watching it. And please don't hesitate to ask questions. You will not always get an answer. And one thing is that if you do ask a question and we give you an answer specifically in gold, that's not going to be a complete answer because we don't have like 50 pages to type everything out. So you're sometimes going to be getting little tiny bits and pieces of stuff. So don't jump to conclusions. Don't go into full panic mode based on incomplete information. And Jesus Christ. Oh, that's amazing. That's an amazing picture. Okay, guys. Peace out. Thank you so much. Love you all. And I'll catch up with you soon.
Bye.